Hello everybody, this is Keagan here and welcome back to the channel, and I'm back with a brand new video for you guys. And welcome back to a brand new episode of Keagan's Movie Reviews. And this is Season 2, Episode 5, Movie Review number 22. Now this review is going to be a little bit different than some of my other reviews. I'm not going to be reviewing one movie this time, I'm actually going to be reviewing two movies this episode. Now, at the end of my last episode, I didn't say I was going to review two movies in this episode. But you know what? I decided why not? I'm going to review two movies this episode. And this is going to be what I'm calling a double feature review. So, for today's double feature review, I'm going to be reviewing number 1, Midnight Cowboy from 1969, and number 2, Borat, Cultural Learnings of America for Make Benefit Glorious Nation of Kazakhstan from 2006. Now, the reason why am I going to review two movies in this episode is because why not? So, I don't really have much else to say about it. So, let's dive into these reviews, shall we? So, sit back, relax, and enjoy the review. So, we're going to start off with Midnight Cowboy. Now, before I talk about this movie, I just kind of want to say that I watched this movie for the first time about a month ago. And I might not remember everything that happened in this movie while trying to describe as much as I can without trying to give away too many spoilers. I'm going to try to keep this review as spoiler-free as possible, but just so you guys know that I watched this movie about a month ago, so I might not remember everything. There might be some details of the story that I might be missing. So yeah, so let's talk about the movie itself. So Midnight Cowboy was released on May 25th, 1969, and it was directed by John Schlesinger, and it was based on the novel by James Leo Herlihy with an H-Y at the end. I've never read the book that this movie was based on, but I'll probably read it someday. Now, the interesting thing about this movie is that, not that this movie is a Best Picture winner at the Oscars, but at the time when this movie came out, this movie was rated X. So this was the only X-rated movie to ever win a Best Picture award at the Oscars. Now, years later, the rating got changed from rated X to rated R. Well, I'll probably explain why the movie got the X rating in this review as well. So let's talk about the movie itself. So anyways, the story of this film follows a man named Joe Buck, played by Jon Voight. And Joe Buck moves away from Texas and moves into New York to become a hustler. And then he meets another hustler named Rizzo. I believe that's what his name was. He's played by Dustin Hoffman. And the two of them start an unlikely friendship, they're later trying to make enough money or something to move to Florida to start their dreams there or something. I can't really remember too much of what happened in this movie, but I try to remember the best I can. That's all I can really remember, though. But at the time when this movie came out, this movie had a little bit of controversy because of some of the sex scenes in this movie that got the X rating. Now, this is not an erotic thriller or anything, but there is some nudity in it. But I think this was back when nudity in movies weren't as common as they are today. But it's kind of tame for its time, I gotta say. This is kind of the stuff you would see in a R-rated movie, nothing you'd see in an NC-17 movie like Shame or Blue is the Warmest Color and whatnot. But this movie has some really, really good performances. I really enjoyed the movie. It had some really good performances from both Jon Voight and Dustin Hoffman, and really good acting, and it has some really good music in it too. And there's one song in this movie that was made for this movie called "Everybody's Talking," and it was sung by Nilsson, I believe that's how you say his name, which is one of my all-time favorite songs. But I really, really enjoyed this movie. I highly recommend it. It's definitely one of the best movies from the 1960s, in my opinion. And I don't really have too much else to say about it other than I really, really enjoyed it and I recommend it if you haven't seen it. I haven't read the book that this movie is based on, but I'll probably read it someday. But for now, I've only seen the movie, and I'll probably read the book to it someday. So check it out if you haven't seen it. I really, really enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed this movie. So yeah, I'm going to rate this movie an 8 out of 10. So yeah, that's it for that. Now let's talk about Borat. Now, Borat was released on November 3rd, 2006, and it stars Sacha Baron Cohen, and this movie was directed by Larry Charles. Now, Borat was actually a character that was part of a show called The Ollie G Show, which I want to start off right off the bat by saying I've actually never watched The Ollie G Show, but I've heard of it. I'll probably check it out someday, but I know that Borat was one of the characters in that show that was played by Sacha Baron Cohen. And there was another character in the Ollie G Show named Bruno, and there was a movie for Bruno called Bruno, which I have seen Bruno on Netflix last summer. I'll probably talk about that movie someday. But for now, let's talk about this movie, Borat. Now, this is a satire comedy that follows a news reporter from Kazakhstan, or as he calls it, the glorious nation of Kazakhstan. Now, this is a movie, I'm sure if you were around in the 2000s, you probably have heard of this movie. I've heard of it, but my parents didn't let me watch it until I was older. Now, I finally watched this movie for the first time. Well, I'll give you my thoughts on it a little later. Now, this film follows the reporter Borat, who was told to go venture into the USA, as how he would put it, to make a documentary of America and learn about the cultures of America for their nation of Kazakhstan. Now, this is one of the comedies, I'd say, along with movies like Tropic Thunder or Blazing Saddles, that probably wouldn't be made in this day and age of today's climate. Well, if you know what I mean. This is a satire movie that touches things on like politics, religion, and all that stuff. They make fun of certain people, but kind of the things you probably wouldn't see in a lot of comedy movies these days. Well, without getting too political these days, without trying to get too political, yeah, I'm sure you probably know what I mean by cancel culture and all that crap. But Borat is a really, really funny movie. It's hilarious. And it's one of the funniest movies I've seen in a little while. I really enjoyed it. And there's even scenes where they actually film it with real people. And they're saying, well, it's kind of one of those movies, kind of like Jackass, like all those movies where they film it in front of people, like with real people. And then at the end of the scene, they tell them that they're filming it for their movie, and if you would like to see your face in the movie or not. It's kind of like one of those movies where they film it in public. But this is a very, very funny movie. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was hilarious. It's a really, really great comedy. Probably a movie that wouldn't be made in this day and age, if you know what I mean. But I enjoyed it. I'll probably check out the Ollie G Show someday, and I'll probably do my review of Bruno someday. And I know there is a movie to the Ollie G Show called The Ollie G in the House or something. But I'll probably review those someday. But for now, I've just reviewed this movie. I'll review those other movies someday. But in conclusion, I just want to say that this is a really, really great comedy. One of the best comedies from the 2000s. And yeah, that's all I have to say about this movie. And I'm going to give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. So that's going to be it for today's reviews. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, please leave a comment below, and subscribe for more videos like this. And what are your thoughts on these two movies? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you'd like to check out my last review, which was on The Five Bloods, the link to that will be in the description down below. And my next review will be on The Strangers, and that review will be coming soon. So in the meantime, thanks again for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. And until next time, this is Keagan Shepherd signing off. and I will see you guys in the next video.